Thanks for staying with us. Now, he first danced his way onto our hearts with Dancing with the Stars, into our hearts even with Dancing with the Stars, and now he's back with a brand new single.
He danced into our hearts long before that. Yes, we're joined now by singer Jay Carter. Good morning, Jay.
Good morning.
Good morning, Jay.
The guitar with you.
I was asked to bring the guitar along, yeah.
A little sing-along.
And you a single as well that's going to be released tomorrow as well, so looking forward to you playing this little tune on that.
Thank you.
Hey, how are you? Congratulations. Got engaged since we saw you last.
It's been a long time since I was last in. Been engaged since we were here, yeah.
Yourself, Karen Byrne, exactly. Yeah. How exciting.
It's all done now. Engagement's done.
I love the way you did it because obviously you met on Dancing with the Stars when she was your dance partner. So that was a lovely way to do it. And he had always planned if you were going to do it, it would be something like that.
We were together. We're together now. I said we were together. That's a bad start. We're together now 8 years, I think it is. Or 7 years. Yeah. And when I kind of thought, right, I think it's the right time to do it, I was like, there's probably no better place than on the dance floor where we met all them years ago. It's the most nerve-wracking thing you can ever do, lad. See, going and buying a ring even, I was like, I was shaking. And I'm not a nervous character, do you know what I mean? But going into the jewellers, I was like, I don't have a clue what I'm doing here.
And then even if people spot you.
I know, and
I'm trying to keep it secret.
And your man, in fairness, in the jewellers, he gave me a brown paper bag, so it's like people won't know what you're walking up with.
Because it was that big diamond.
Yeah, of course. Security.
You get so conscious, I was like hiding the ring in the guitar case because I was like, she definitely won't check in there. Do you know what I mean?
But like doing it because I believe you wanted to do it live on the show.
No, I never would have done it live because Karen's not. She doesn't like surprises. She doesn't like being the centre of attention at all. I threw Karen a surprise birthday party a few years ago and she said, if I ever do that again, she's finishing with me. So that was that.
But you did it on the floor, a camera in her face.
I didn't actually expect it to be as many crew there as there was, because I spoke to Adam, the producer, and I asked him if it was possible, and he was like, 100% we'll make it work. So we did it on the Saturday. They do kind of dress rehearsals and all that, and it was the end of the day, and they told Karen that they wanted to do a video of her kind of handing the trophy back, because obviously she won the previous year and she was now a judge, and they made this big story up. So they were filming Karen taking the trophy back, and then I just walked out and she didn't have a clue, and then
it was a lovely moment. It really was. And she's flying at being a judge. Is she loving it?
Absolutely amazing. I keep saying she's been judging me for years, so she's well used to it. But it was so different. But you know, I was just so happy for her because she's been on the show now for 8 seasons. From the very beginning. So it was great, and I think she did an amazing job. People liked it, and she really enjoyed it as well. I think she wanted to do something different. She danced for so many years and she loves dancing, but it was kind of a natural progression, and it's great to kind of see her doing that.
Is she very good at judging? Like, would you get that at home? Would she be practising
She wouldn't hold back anyway, do you know what I mean? Well, I'm always dancing since I was on the show now. So.
Any plans for wedding season?
I'm not going to lie, no. Everyone keeps asking,
have you just sort of said, OK, that's done, and we'll...
Yeah, well, if I'm being completely honest, we're actually house hunting at the minute. Okay. So we're like, right, maybe let's sort the house and then get to it. But there's so much that goes into it. It's crazy.
The cost of it
we have gone and viewed a few hotels and different wedding venues to see what's out there, but no plans set in stone yet. We started doing a guest list, and then that just ended up. We're bringing the podcast back, and the first episode, most of it is telling the story about that, because it was comedy. We ended up FaceTiming Nathan, and it was the whole thing of well, I don't know who that is. Who's your cousin, and who are you bringing?
Everybody from Liverpool, half of Liverpool will be coming over. Would you do it in Liverpool, maybe?
I don't. It'd probably be over here in Ireland. Right. My granddad's 93 this year, so it will probably be local enough that he can still travel to it. You know what I mean?
The Carter Couch, so that's coming back that's the first. That's going to be interesting.
6 months since we did season 1 of that, and you know, it's great fun, and it doesn't even feel like we're doing a podcast because we're just chatting between the three of us, and it's just crazy. We just chat about.
Tommy knows all about that. Just sitting down in the podcast,
sitting down and doing nothing.
It's handiest job going. To be fair, we're doing that right now as well. Tell me though, your tour manager helping out with Nathan as well.
Yeah, so I became Nathan's tour manager over a year ago now. It's great. I love I've been around the music scene since I was about 12, and Nathan was looking for a tour manager and asked would I consider doing it. So I was like, yeah, 100%. So I kind of just make sure that they don't get up to too much trouble, to be
so
honest.
And
what
you
does
go
it
with them, you're
entail?
actually
Yeah.
there on tour with them.
Yeah, unless I've got my own gig, then I'll go on tour, yeah. And mainly, all my stuff's done kind of pre-gig. It's sorting transport, accommodation, making sure dressing rooms, all that stuff is sorted, and times and tour buses.
So tell us the story about the tour bus that you
So
lost.
the first weekend we were gigging over in the UK.
This is the first week. It's your first.
Literally my first
Right.
weekend as a tour manager, and we were doing a gig in Blackpool, but the tour bus couldn't get into the venue, so we had to park in a car park just outside. So that was fine. Arranged that. The tour bus dropped us off, and the bus went to this car park named Fox something. Right. So that was after the gig. Then we had a few pints. About two in the morning, we got taxis back to the tour bus. So got dropped off at this car park, all out of the taxis, guitars, instruments, bags, everything. No tour bus there. I was like, where has the tour bus gone? So I was ringing the tour bus driver, and obviously they sleep then while you're gigging so that they can drive to the next venue and they wake up. So I woke him up, and he was not too pleased because the bus was about 200 metres over the hill. So there was a hill in this car park, but we got dropped off at the bottom of the hill, and he was the other side. So we were in the right car park, but
you would still have to wake him up anyway, because when you were getting onto the bus,
I don't think he was going to get up till about 5 in the morning, so that wasn't... We had a new driver then for the next tour, so maybe that was my fault.
How are you finding the logistics side of that, though? Like, is that a strength of yours? Because, like, Nathan has a big old tour. And as you say, bus, there's the lorries, there's all the equipment, the staging, everything. It's mega.
I'm quite organised anyway. I enjoy doing, like, getting lists and making stuff.
But you'd organise your own gigs
exactly,
as well,
yeah.
wouldn't you?
And I know the band, I've known the lads for years, and some of Nathan's band now gigged with me years ago, so it's kind of, we're all just mates at this stage, so it's...
The country scene in Ireland, though, is massive, isn't it?
It is,
I mean, like, you saw Zach Bryan at the weekend.
Oh, that was just crazy.
180,000 people.
180,000 people, and nobody knew who he was. Like, everybody asked was going, who is this
man?
man?
I would have known a couple of songs. Now, I didn't actually end up going, but I seen videos and pictures. It looked,
I believe it was incredible.
Amazing,
It's incredible, the rise of that man.
Hey, what is it about American artists coming to Ireland in country, with country scene so big? The likes of Nathan, even with his roots, going to America. Why are we so big here, and why have Irish artists maybe not made it over in America?
What? I think over in Ireland, people just love music. There's a huge love around any type of music, whether it's folk music, pop music, country music. There's a huge insurgence of, like, folk indie artists at the minute.
Massive.
And country as well.
Yeah.
You've got the likes of Kingfisher and Amble that are doing huge things
Kingfisher
all over the
as
place.
well,
So I just think that scene at the minute is just really, really big. I mean, the likes of Noah Khan last year was huge as well, and Zach Bryan, all these acts, people just seem to really enjoy it.
You've deliberately stayed clear of it, because you could have easily followed down that road. Couldn't you?
I mean, at the start,
said, no, I'm a pop singer.
Yeah, when I started out, there would have been hints of country, and even now, like, I was back in the studio the last couple of days, and the songs that we wrote would have been a little bit more folky, and I think that's just the natural way that it's going, that people, that's what you're hearing at the minute.
People are listening to that.
I love pop music. I mean, I grew up with, like, the likes of McFly, and I actually just watched the Robbie Williams film a couple of days ago. Yeah. Brilliant, absolutely amazing. And Take That and all them bands I loved growing up, so that's kind of where I try to keep my kind of sound, but there's always, like, little hints of country or rock and roll in there.
And with the touring, and with obviously yourself and Karen and everything else, is writing and touring and your own music, are you constantly writing? Like, is that... Yeah,
well, to be honest, I took a little bit of a break. I was back in the studio the last couple of days, and I enjoyed it so much because I had that little break. But when you're out and about, you're constantly writing. I have a little red book that I just write stuff in constantly. And
we always have authors on, we ask them their method in it. Have you a certain method that might be different to other people?
No, there's no reason or rhyme to it, to be honest. Sometimes
it just comes to you.
Sometimes you could be sitting in a studio, banging your head against the wall for 12 hours and get nothing. It's different every time.
And would yourself and Nathan sometimes write together and
we have, like that? We've done a few collaborations. We actually wrote a track on his previous album that I really enjoyed that he doesn't do or doesn't sing live, and I keep saying to him, why do you not bring this song back?
Come on, my royalties here.
Exactly.
That's what he was saying.
You're the manager now. You're the manager.
Have more of a say. But no, we do write sometimes, probably not as much as we should do. But when you're on the road, you're so busy. I do struggle at the minute trying to find time to give time to everything, like my own music as well as doing the other jobs.
Well, speaking of your own music, because you're going to sing for us, but you have some gigs as well, your own gigs.
I do, yeah. We're finishing off, we had the Point of View tour. Point of View was the name of my previous EP, and that's finishing off this Sunday in the Briery Gap in Macroom, which has just been renovated. It's a lovely theatre down there. And then we're going to be gigging in Killarney. We're in Swords at the end of July. We're also doing a festival called Able Fest, which is something I've done for the last few years, which is great. It's for all abilities to come along to a festival and to make it really accessible. So it's a lovely festival to be a part of, and that's happening at the end of July in Fairy House in the Racecourse.
And jcarterofficial.com is where people can find out. And your new single is Old Friends.
Old Friends, yeah.
We've lots to come on the show in the final hour, but first Jake is going to get the guitar
sing a little bit of it.
And sing. And this is out tonight at midnight.
This is out at midnight tonight, yeah.
Okay, on all streaming platforms.
Jake Carter, great to see you.
Thank you
Take it
very
away.
much. Thanks for having me in. This is the story of the 4 kids that lived out on the streets full of dreams, so young and free. We were like a band of brothers, we could do anything. Paul was the one that always danced at a disco. Liam was fun, Sam was dumb, oh, then there was me. I swear we could have been the Beatles, but we couldn't sing. We kissed the girls and made them cry. We rode our bikes into the night. We knocked and ran away from growing old. So don't let the sun go down on old friends. You know they're growing up, won't it? No, I won't forget the good old days with mine. I wonder where you are tonight. Is trouble sleeping by your side? Are you the man the boy thought you would be? We could have been the Beatles, but we couldn't sing.